It has almost been a month since I restarted my island. And one of the first decisions I made was the placement of one of my villages' houses. And that was back then we would place them in tents. And I think I've regretted it ever since. So I'm going to get Rocket over and finally moving her house because I finally need this space. So I'm hoping that today's video is more of a chill video because I wanted to have some kind of an orchard behind my resident services, and I wanted to do it today just because I just wanted to do something that's less intense after building my lake view last week. If you haven't seen this video, I'm going to have a link up at the top right so you can click on it to watch it. But essentially, I'm gonna go there and show you what we're working on. I think my island's starting to look forest core. What do you think? Let me know in the comment. I can't believe the amount of hours I've spent already just working on this. So this is the space where I think I'm going to build her house, and it's like she's gonna have her own spot. I guess I'll just have to work on the pathing later to connect it. But Rocket's house is pink, and I think it kind of matches the color of my able sisters, so I think this is the right spot for it. Alright, so let's go over to my newly built cliff, which is not exactly finished, obviously. Oh, here's Gaston. So today my game is supposed to be bug off season, but before I even get to bug off, I wanted to do this little orchard because I've been working on filling up the spaces on my island. And if you've been watching my videos so far, you know that I've been taking down all of my fruit trees, and I think it's finally time to bring them to their dedicated spot. So I'm just kind of measuring out first where I would like it to go. I kind of want at least 3 trees in a row, so it's time to build more cliffs, so let's do it. And hey, if you're new to my channel, well, welcome. My name is Yugi and I'm your average casual gamer, but a few months ago I decided to start sharing my journey because it's more fun this way. So if you like my videos, make sure to subscribe because I upload a new video every Sunday. And if you want to watch more, well, you'll know when to find me. Alright, so now I'm just adding more land because I would really like to expand this cliff. The plan at first was just to have cherries on this part of the cliff, but I think it's time I add more fruits since I had them. So I'm gonna try to organize them and have them on there. But oh, it's Sly. Okay, so Sly was one of my very first villagers on my very first island. I don't know why I said it like that. I only had one island before this, but I love Sly. And he was the last villager I got on my island. I don't have all of them yet. I think I'm missing 1 or 2 more. And he came by camping and he just spawned there. I'm so happy to see him. And honestly, I haven't spent as much time hunting for villages as I would like in the game yet, but I think secretly I'm enjoying just having random villages come in when I build land because it's more surprising when I go in and see who just moved in, so that's exciting. But I've been finding that my favorite villages lately have been the snooty one and the cranky ones. So although I have many cute ones too, I love them, but I've been really loving their personality just because they tend to be so funny. Alright, so now before I move on to the cliff and before I actually give up, I would like to bring back the river, and I have to move those trees And since they're cherry trees, I think I'm going to just bring them to my cliff so they can add to what I already need. This is Rocket. We just moved her house. Fun fact, when I was playing yesterday, and well, that's when I started, and I had to move Rocket's house. This was the time when I actually found out that Rocket was a she. And I think I was confused because on my first island I had Boone, who was just like Rocket but blue. I guess that makes sense, so I just assumed Rocket was he, but it just made so much more sense now. Alright, so I'm gonna pick up my cherry trees and eventually they're going to go on the cliff. I think the vision for this is, one, I want to start having more fruit trees and hardwood trees on my island in general because I would love to see the leaf change in fall. That was the motivation behind my forest core island, but I love the look of hardwood floors more. But after thinking about it for a few weeks, I want to bring back more of the regular trees just because I would love to see the color change, but I just want them to be organized in a good way because sometimes I feel like in winter is when they are not as exciting, so I just want winter to look as joyful as I can on this game because that's what's going to keep me playing. Last time I gave up when I stopped playing on my other island was around winter because I feel like the snow makes it too white. It looks kind of cold and depressing, so I didn't want that. So this time I'm trying to rectify the choices I made previously to keep me playing as long as I can. But I'm also very invested in the theme of this island, so I think that's gonna get me going too, because like I said many times before, things keep changing as I'm building and as I get new items, and I just want to change up areas a little bit, so I'm embracing the process of decorating my Animal Crossing island. Alright, so now, you guessed it, we're going to add some more cliffs. So at first I wanted to add fencing to my orchard, and you'll see what I mean, but I also wanted it to look as full as possible behind resident services, at least for the cherry part of things. So, and because I kind of want it to be a more chill build today, I think I'm just going to start by placing down the trees and arranging them. I have all the fruits by now, I just need to plant them. And eventually I kind of want to go back on my own time when I'm not recording and just like do the tedious work of picking out a few trees and rearranging the space to make fencing. Because as you guys know, since my very first video, I'm working towards a big reveal at the end. Well, I'm not currently working on it, but also kind of, because I keep making changes to some other areas that I've already worked on, and I would love to make an island tour video for you guys, so hopefully that's exciting. Full disclosure, I was going to change the music for when I'm speeding up the game, but I don't know, I kind of liked it. It was funny, and I also love the sound effects that keeps going in it, so I thought I was gonna hate it when the Animal Crossing music is sped up, but I do like it. Alright, so this is where Rocket's house originally was, and right now I'm building as much cliff as I can around it so that when the house moves I have the least work to do because the big work's already done. So that's currently my process, and of course, like all of this, I want to connect to my viewpoint, is what I'm calling the area I worked on last time, because I want it to all lead to it. I think it's getting to the point of my island where as I'm building, because I started by building different corners, I didn't really put in the necessary infrastructure yet so much, so bridges and cliffs. And now I'm trying to think about how I would like myself or really other people who come visit to get around my island, just to kind of have a flow of paths to go, because I think that would make it easier since I'm using custom paths for now, and with custom path you don't really see paths on the map, so I don't want people to miss on any areas. And honestly, that's my favorite part of the game, is building so much stuff and then having people visit, which I don't know, it brings me so much joy. Maybe it's part of me that just wants people to see the hard work I've put in, but that's why I need to start thinking about how I want people to get around. This is Gaston. Gaston is another one of my villager. He's French, and it was funny because if you don't know, I have an accent which I'm sure you can hear, but my first languages, well, I have two first languages and one of them is French, so I like it. It's like having a part of home back with me. And Lyman was the very first villager on my island. He came to me along with Rocket when I started it. I really thought he was going to show me another reaction here, but no, he just wanted to chat. So I just find it easier to make a whole lot of holes first so I can see where they're gonna go. I think it also helps with the spacing, because once the holes are kind of done, I don't have to worry about my view being blocked by what I plant, so I can really see where they are going to be. So in this corner I'm gonna have pears, and on the other corner, my brain's not working today. On the other corner, well, right behind resident services, like I said, it's going to be for my native fruit. Since my native fruit is cherry, I wanted to showcase more of that behind resident services, so it's kind of, you know, Tom Nook can point to it and be like, oh, like this is our native fruit. Well, he won't do it, but that's what I thought. And then on this corner, since we are going to have a lot of pink on this side, I'm going to have peaches because it's kind of pink, and then I have Able Sisters, which is kind of pink, well, which is pink, and Rocket's house on the right. So peaches, and I'm trying to think. I have oranges and I also have apples, so I need to place them somewhere. My coconuts already went on the beaches. They are kind of scattered, and honestly, I'm one of those players who never quite knew what to do with the beaches. I try to make it look very normcore. Well, that's all I know. With the beaches, like I try to put tents and like things for people to lay on, but it's very much a beach. Because I don't know, like sometimes I feel like maybe I don't like seeing too much decoration on my beaches because the land is not like lined up, so it's kind of weird sometimes to place paths and stuff over there, so I'm not sure. I do think though that some people do an amazing job with their beaches, but I don't know what mine's going to be like. I don't know what my style is when it comes to beaches. So I'm just gonna focus on the land as much as possible, and I'll just get to it later. So I'm plucking the fruits from this tree because I want to plant them in this area. I'm trying to plant as many cherries as I can, and I need to get some more. My plan at first was to wait for the cherry trees to get fruits so I can pluck them and I can plant more of them, you know, the way I guess like everybody does. So it's gonna take some forbidden word, time traveling in my case, to do it. My job is so busy in the week that really my best time to play has been the weekend. But in the morning, before I go to work, I really like to just turn it on and run around and just see what I did so far. It, I think, makes me in a much happier and relaxing mood before I go to work, because sometimes Animal Crossing is like taking a trip, taking a little vacation to a nice looking area that you like, and yeah, so that's what I do. My coworkers kind of know by now that I play Animal Crossing before I come to work because I talk about it a lot. Alright, so these are the areas on my island that are completed, and what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to have another cliff here, because I'm kind of envisioning it to be connected by a bridge, and I want a continuation of the ridge, but I also have a lot of spaces here. So I'm going to build a cliff, and on this cliff I'm going to have apples. That's where the apples are gonna go. I have more of my villages in this area. I actually didn't want Kitty. I was kind of disappointed when I got her because I discovered another villager who was on my campsite on the same day I had Kitty, but I wasn't able to keep talking to her until she moved. Her name was Hazel, I think. I think her name was Hazel. Yeah, she was very green. I may be wrong. But, oh no, it was Opal. Yeah, sorry. The villager was Opal, and I really wanted Opal. I had never seen her before, and I thought she was so cool, and I loved her personality, and that's who I really wanted. So the next day, Kitty moved in instead, and I was not very happy. Like, I think Kitty's cool, but I think I was just so attached to having Opal that I think when I do get to the point where I finish all my neighborhoods and I build more houses, I might get the amiibo card, to be honest, because Opal kind of grew on me. Though my favorite animal is Kitty. Well, they're all my favorites right now. It's hard to pick. It's getting to a point where it's really hard to pick. So that's that. So now I'm adding the cliffs, and one thing I have been struggling with is I'm trying to think of what to do with the areas where the cliffs are exposed on either sides, because I can't tell yet if I like them exposed or not. I don't mind them so much on the other parts of my island, but this is supposed to be the flat area, so I just kind of like want to figure out how to spruce it up. But in this corner, since I have trees, I got the DIY. I redeemed some Nook Miles and I got the DIY for stalls. So I would like to build some stalls and kind of make it like a little farmer's market in this corner, for fruits at least. So that's one thing I thought of. So I think I just, need to give the game some time and keep working on it, and we'll get to that point. So, you'll see a lot of places as I'm building this that are not finished, like the area behind me, but we're gonna get there with patience. Alright, so now I'm just going to go place down my apples. Now, the thing is, because I already had my paths and trees set up on the other side, ideally I would have continued with one more space, but I also didn't want to cut down on my river, so it's only gonna have 2 rows of apples in this side. On this side, I think I'm gonna have like more things on either side. You'll see what I mean. I keep spoiling, but I need to figure out how I want it spaced out. Do I want it spaced out from the back or the front? Just have to measure it out. So I'm gonna dig some holes and then we'll be able to tell. Just have to pick the ideal placement. But the thing is, I also want a bridge to connect the 2 cliffs. And I think I need the space in the front, to be honest, but then it's nicer, right? Because you don't really see the back, so if I have it at the back it looks nicer, because then I can do the stuff with the front. Don't just want to have empty land, because then I could just break down the cliffs. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to build it in the back, prioritizing the space at the front, and let's do it. Just lots of holes as usual. I just need to build so many holes so I can have all my trees. I find this part fun though. I really do find this part fun, just like digging everywhere. I've seen some people do this one thing where they place pitfall seeds around, and I think I'd like to do that. I don't know how my villagers would feel about it, but I think it would be funny. the meanest one I've seen where some people placed pitfall seeds right outside of the villager's house, so they kind of fall into it as soon as they step out, because they always go on like that one specific space right in front of that door. But I don't want to be so mean, but I just want to have like somewhere, maybe on the beach. That'd be funny. But then I have to be around to watch it, because that's the only thing that's fun about it. Alright, so it's the next day, and I think my favorite days to build my island are when it's raining. I wish I could just pick all the rainy days forever. But now I can finally fill up the space because Rocket's house has been moved, and I'm going to start by chopping down the trees. I know a lot of people in the Animal Crossing community are strongly against plucking flowers and tearing down trees, but it's fine because I'm going to rebuild it on the other side. So I'm deforesting to reforest, if that makes sense. And you see what I mean? Because I tried to fill up as much space as I could earlier, it makes it so much less work now to fill up the space because I don't have as much to do, and that's really the tedious part, I think. As much as terraforming is fun, I feel like sometimes it's just like really tedious because it takes such a long time having to build everything like brick by brick and having to turn around. So let's get to it. You can enjoy some more sped up Animal Crossing music. So I actually time traveled to Sunday and Daisy May's on my island, but so far I haven't bought any turnips yet. I think it's because I've just been so busy already with building so much, but also as part of building with my trees and how things are being moved, I need to time travel a lot, so it wouldn't be smart to get turnips anytime soon. So eventually I will, when I'm not building things, because I think I'm getting to that point where I don't need to build so much. The thing about the cliffs I'm doing is at some point there's an edge, so then I have to keep building on land so I can get to the other side and break it down. So let's do it. So if you watched my previous video, on the top right side of where this cliff is, I have my little viewpoint where you see the lake view, and I'll show you again at the end of this video. But if you would like to watch it, I'm going to have the link up the top right, so you can always click on it to watch it and see all the work I did. Also guys, truly this time I'm trying to improve on my editing skills, because as much as I like to rewatch these videos to see what I did before and kind of like try to see where I can improve, it's toxic, I know, but I just want your experience to be as enjoyable as it can be, so I'm trying to limit the cuts by having more sped up scenes because I want you guys to enjoy this. I personally love to sometimes just put on people's builds on YouTube and watch a lot of them when I'm building my own things when I'm not recording, so I can just chill, have a good time, just get crazy, and well, not really get crazy, but more like get relaxed. And yeah, it's just like, it's so enjoyable because I think like seeing other people do it, it's so fun. When I started playing Animal Crossing when it first came out, all my friends were playing it, so it was during COVID and we couldn't go anywhere, so we would all like just sit together. We were living together at the time and just build our islands, and it was so fun. Like we would visit each other's island, just do fun Animal Crossing things together. But now nobody plays it anymore, so yeah, so then YouTube is what comes to mind. I just put on other people playing and I play at the same time just because it feels like more of a social community thing than playing alone all the time. My only time I really play alone is before work. I also am leaving the space between where my orange trees are going to go and between my peaches, because eventually I think I want to make like a little market there. But today's not the day for it because I'm just trying to do relaxing things, and relaxing things for me are just planting down my trees and not obsessing too much over building things right now. So that might be a project I do on my own time when I can watch other people play at the same time and just DIY a bunch of things and fill up the space. So this video is less intense than my other videos just because we're trying to do more relaxing things. Now, the issue is I want a bridge in the middle, and I didn't realize that the river needs to continue on the same level to build it. I thought it would have been cool though if I could just place a bridge on top of there and it looked like it was suspending, but I'm going to have to build a river so that it kind of rises up and I can have my bridge on it. So that's what I'm doing right now. It's tricky. I feel like with the game, it's been so long that I honestly forgot some of the rules, and there's a lot of like doing and undoing. I'm sure everybody goes through this, but yeah, it's the things we have to kind of like go through to enjoy the game. So now I'm going to make the river. I think it's gonna be cool because it's going to still look like the bridge is on top of the waterfall, but that also means I kind of have to undo my waterfalls because then that won't work anymore. Because I underestimated how much space the bridge would take. So it would just like make the waterfalls way smaller, and I don't think that looks as great as I wanted it to be. So yeah, that's a little thing I kind of have to remember as I'm building. You see the space behind me where trees could have gone but they didn't go? It's because I'm planning on bringing them back anyway, so I just need the apples to grow first so I can put them there. So that's what that space is for. There's gonna be more apples there. Or now I'm thinking, every time I do something in this game and I look at it, I think of other things to do with it. And that's why I set out to play for an hour and I end up sitting on it for a whole day. It's because this game keeps giving you ideas and it knows how to keep you playing. Alright, so more cliffs, more rivers. I need to add them. Oh, it's not gonna let me, so I need to go back and fill up that space so I can build the cliffs and break it down. That's what I meant by all the doing and undoing. And I wasn't anticipating it to be that much today, because today was supposed to be chill. It really was, but it's okay. I keep telling myself that I'll stop when my orchards are done and my bridges are built, because I'm also planning on adding another bridge to the other side. Is this enough? No, it's not, so I need to add some more. Alright, let's go for it. Look at Lyman just chilling at the base. There's not going to be land anymore there. So Lyman, it's dangerous, get out of there. Do you guys plan your Animal Crossings before you play? So I was looking up ways, like, you know, the apps you can download to kind of like plan out your game before you play it. And I downloaded one, and honestly, if you would like access to it, I don't know, maybe you already have things that you use, just comment it down below and I'll just post it there in the comments. But I downloaded one and it was great, but the thing is, I think it was kind of tedious for me to use the planning app, because before I would do it, I would try to kind of map out where things would go on my island and place things to get an idea, and then I'd end up just doing it anyway. So I think I struggle with planning it on a different app. I do kind of better by imagining it and placing things down so I can envision spaces better, but that means I just end up doing it without planning. So yeah, I think it's because I keep changing my mind all the time. Alright, so now is it big enough to put a bridge on here? So for this bridge, I picked the suspension bridge because I haven't played in so long that I forgot how many different kinds of bridges we had. So in this video, in this orchard build, when I'm putting down my bridges, I'm trying to figure out which one is the best bridge that I would like to have around my island. Alright, so now we have Lloyd, and let's pay off Lloyd so they can finally get me a bridge. As much as possible. I would like to give you everything I have, Lloyd. Well, everything I can. Alright, so the bridge will be built tomorrow. Awesome. I do wish though that when we build structures like this, bridges and inclines, that the game wouldn't limit us to only one a day. Because, see, I need to build the other bridge too, but I can't do it until this one is built. So in my case, it means that I have to time travel, like a lot of saving the game and time traveling in order to also do the second bridge. So I just wish you could like have more than one bridge on one day, because it's in different spaces, so it's definitely doable. Alright, so my trees are coming together. These are where my pears are gonna be, and I just need them to grow so I can get 2 more pears and put them on the other side. But then I'm also trying to think about, do I want a path here, which I'm not exactly sure about. I know I want a path on the right side of this little orchard thing, because it connects the stairs to the other bridge that's going to be here eventually, and just getting to my viewpoint. But here, I wasn't originally planning on it being somewhere that was accessible. It was supposed to be more of a view. So I think that's something I will have to think about eventually on how I want it to be experienced. So for now, I'm just going to do the one thing that I kind of know for now, which is where my paths are planned to go. So I'm gonna put down my paths, and in that other space on the right corner, I want to put down some more cedar trees, just because, you know, I have to bring the forest core into it. In the right side of the area is where you're gonna have a bit more of space really for villagers to be able to just enjoy the view, because the viewport is up ahead. So I kind of wanted the spaces to connect with the cedar trees and just really enjoy it. And then I also want to place down my bridge on the other river so it can take you to the viewpoint. However, the thing is, like I said earlier, I've been trying to think about which bridge I actually want, because now I can't pick. But with the bridge comes the decision of deciding which path is going to go. So now I'm thinking, do I eventually want to add different kind of paths in different areas, just so, you know, it connects to the features, but it's a whole lot of things to figure out. By the way, last time, well, 2 videos ago, you guys showed me in the comment how to do the stunted trees, and I finally was able to do it. So thank you so much for the 2 of you who commented and told me how to do it. I had no idea, and that makes so much sense now. So now I have it. Now I have stunted trees. Alright, my second bridge is getting built, and it's time to pay off Lloyd again so I can have my bridge. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys what we ended up having when the bridges are built and the trees are grown, so you can see. Alright, so it's a different day. It took a lot of days later, a lot of time traveling, to be honest, so I could have everything kind of grow, so you can really see what I wanted it to look like. So let's go on a mini tour, and we have Winnie over there who's just enjoying the day because it's still bug off season. I'm back to the right day, it's Saturday. And I still need to participate in bug off. So let me show you what we ended up having, and then I can get to that. So the cherry idea was for it to be behind resident services, because that's my native fruit. And over here I just have the 2 rows of my pear trees and my peaches. So all my trees didn't grow. I think that's just a little thing that happens in the game sometimes, where the game doesn't want you to have too many trees in one spot. So I just wanted to show you what it looks like from the front for now, but eventually I'm gonna have to move those little trees in different spots for it to grow and then bring it back. And here we have the apples, and I'm trying to decide if in front of the apples tree I want to have seating area or little stalls. So it's gonna be fun decorating this. I have my stunted tree, which I'm honestly so happy to have, because now you kind of see the other trees behind, the neighborhood and everything. It's Kitty's house, but like I said, I do want Kitty to move. Here we have empty spaces because I want to make like a mini fruit market. So I'm just gonna have stalls in this corner and just have like a shop, fruit market, farmers market type thing. It's gonna be a mini one because I can't reveal more, but something's gonna be coming up lately. The stone bridge, you see what I mean now with having it connect with stone paths or just like different paths, just so things are matching. But first I have to make up my mind on what I actually want. And this was the lake I did last time, the lake that took me way longer than I expected it to. So honestly, this is the reason why this game brings me so much joy, because after all the labor put into it, making those spaces and it looking nice and just looking beautiful, it makes it worth it. So yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video, because at the end of the day I'm happy with what it turned into. So I think for now I'm going to end this video here, and you guys, I'm going to start posting my dream address in the description box, so you guys can visit if you want to. But just a quick little disclaimer that my island is not finished yet, so apologies, but yeah, it's open to visit if you would like to look around, because I haven't exactly showed you guys everything yet. I hate that when you use custom path you can't see the path on your map, but a large chunk of my island is actually decorated. We're more than halfway done. I think I have like, 4 little areas that needs to be decorated, but it's getting there. It's almost done. It's mainly the areas that are closer to the beach. It's really tiny spots. I have ideas of what I want to do with them, but it hasn't happened yet, so eventually. So for today I'm going to end the video here, and as usual I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. It really was a more relaxing day from what I normally do. So if you like my content, make sure to like it and subscribe, and I will catch you next time. Bye.